Lots of questions about how students will eventually return to the schoolhouse as we deal with the pandemic. One of them, an important one, has to do with air quality. It's a theme we've been discussing this afternoon, and we continue now. Joining us via Skype, Serene Al-Momen, CEO of Senseware, also a professor at George Mason University, an expert on indoor air quality and ventilation standards. It's great to have you with us. And again, we're sort of continuing a discussion we've had a couple of other public health experts on, and so your contribution here fits in very nicely to what we've been talking about, because when we do decide it's safe and we get the kids back in class, one of the things we want to make sure about is that they then don't get sick, or at the very least minimize the opportunity to pass the infection around from time to time. And it occurs to me that it's the quality of the air inside that building that is very much a factor on that. Let's talk about that a little bit. And what are your recommendations right now? If I'm a school district and I'm coming to you saying, hey, I want to make it as safe as possible, where do I begin?
Yes, there are definitely multiple measures that we can take, schools can take to mitigate the risk of spreading the virus in classrooms and in school. One of which, very important one, is to increase ventilation and bring more outside air, more fresh air, because what that will do is it will refresh the air in the space. We'll get rid of the air that may potentially have virus in it, and just bring in fresh air, cleaner air around the kids and the staff. The other thing that you could do is just look at the filtration. So improving filtrations and using better grade filters that can filter really small particles, which is really important in this case, because the viruses can exist in the air in very small sizes, down to 0.3 microns and things like that. And the smaller the particles, the more they stay in the air. So you want to make sure that you use filters that are able to filter those smaller particles so that they don't stay in the air if you're recirculating the air. And then, very important is to make sure that all of these measures are working as they should, and that's where technologies like real-time monitoring of indoor air quality becomes really important, where you are monitoring all these aspects, these changes, how the ventilation is working, is the filtration working properly, do we have too many kids? CO2 sensors, for example, can be a proxy of how many people are there. If you're monitoring these aspects and these measures in real time, then you can create a program where you're able to mitigate the risks in real time, and that creates a safer environment for kids as they stay in classrooms.
It occurs to me we're spending a lot of time disinfecting surfaces, but maybe not paying as much attention to the air that we all breathe. Something as simple maybe as being able to open windows in classrooms, and that's kind of that's a situation that a lot of modern schoolhouses have gotten away from. Everything is sort of hermetically sealed inside, but if you can get some fresh air in there, you at least going in the right direction. Yes,
exactly. There are definitely simple measures like that can be taken, even in outdated schools and older buildings. Just simply better configuration of the HVAC to bring more air. Opening window if you see that you cannot. Some smaller schools have just wall-mounted units, so you don't have a central ventilation system. You can open windows. Changing filters and using better filters is an easy thing to do. Yeah. In any school, you can do this. So these measures are available and can definitely reduce the risk of spreading the virus in schools.
We get a better idea of the sort of the big picture that we have to look at here. It's not just a simple thing about do we send them back or don't we? It's how we make the schools when we do decide to send them back. Serene Al-Momen is the CEO of Senseware, also a professor at George Mason University, and we really appreciate your help this afternoon. Many thanks.
My pleasure. Thank you.